and welcome to the Double Fall Podcast. Today is Sunday, January 19th, and tonight is the final half of the fourth round of the 2025 Australian Open. Let's just go right into the matches tonight. The first match, maybe the biggest match on deck, number one seed, defending champion, Jannik Sinner versus number 13 seed, Holger Rune. Jeremy, it's a pretty big line for Sinner. He's a very heavy favorite. Do you think the wannabe last member of the big three has a shot here?
I think he definitely has an opportunity to, um, reassert himself into the conversation of, who should be at Turin at the end of the year, in the top eight, whatnot. I don't think he has a shot of beating Sinner. Like most people don't have a shot of beating Sinner right now, but I think that Holger, could come out and really if he's playing his game and firing on all cylinders, he could, take a set and, it could be a 5-set thriller. If Holger's really dialed in, and
Yeah,
it's rare to see that. So I'm gonna say Sinner in 4, but you
I
know,
like I like that. The odds are
yeah,
actually
and that's kind of me, wanting Rune to play well. Like what will probably happen is Sinner winning in straight sets dominantly.
that's true.
But if Rune plays well, he could win a set, come out hot, win the first, or
Yeah.
bounce back in the third. Probably,
Well, the
yeah.
odds
I'm gonna go Sinner in 4.
I like that. And the odds are set at Sinner to win in 3 sets at minus 135. Holger Rune to win a set is actually like even money. So the main thing is here not if Yannick's going to win, but if Holger is going to get a set, which I think is a little disrespectful because the thing is with Holger, he has very high highs and then he also has the lows. Where Sinner is much more steady as a player. Sinner's baseline is most people can't hang with unless you're named Alcaraz or Djokovic. I think Holger in his mind thinks he could be there. He's confident. He's kind of like Shelton, where I think he gets up for the big matches. He's not your typical 13, 12 seed. I think we're getting this is like the game spread is set at minus 7.5 games for Sinner. So that's him like handily winning this match, like no problem, 3-0. I think Holger's better than that line. I think you have that opportunity where if he plays his best tennis, he can hang here. I don't think he could beat Sinner. I think Sinner's like so untouchable right now, and it's probably a no-brainer he's going to make the finals against whoever gets out of that side of the bracket.
Well, it could be his first 5-setter. That it could be his first. If Rune pushes him and plays really well, it could be Sinner's first 5-setter of the tournament.
Well, that's
And
the other thing.
their career head to head is actually 2-2.
Yeah, I
Which,
think.
okay, grain of salt. Yannick wasn't the same.
That this last
Before
year
2023, but
yeah.
Still you have to. They're going to be thinking about that.
The other
Yeah.
factor I think in this is, which I think Rune is a phenomenal athlete. I think his body can hold up playing a lot of tennis in 2 weeks, but he does have like 3 hours more on-court time than Sinner because he went 5 with Shang in the first round.
Looked like he was going to lose.
Yeah.
He was going to lose to Kuzmanovic. Pretty
yes,
convincingly.
he was down 2-1 against Kuzmanovic and had to go 5. So that's 2 5-set matches under his belt, and then a 4-set battle with Berrettini. He's probably a little bit more battle-tested than Jannik, but as we said, Jannik just has that insane quality that not many can match. I think, I don't know, I mean, it might be our hearts wanting Holger to do well, because I was thinking about it today, I think Holger is going to end the year in the top 8 and make Turin and be competing with these top guys, because we always say there's only so many spots, and if we're throwing guys like Rude, Tsitsipas, maybe like Rublev even out of the top 10, who's going to replace them? I think Holger is primed to do that this year, because if you look at his results last year in slams, there was a lot to be desired. He's already picked up points at this Australian Open because last year I think he lost in the second round to Cazot, which was just Cazot was playing out of his mind that tournament. Last year at the French Open, I think he made the round of 16 against Zverev. Holger is one of those guys where you could see making a semifinals at the French Open. He's got that top 5 level on clay. Last year, he got a little unlucky how early he played Sasha, which, as we've said many times, he's the number 2 or 3 guy on clay. Wimbledon, he had a great run, I believe. Let me see, wasn't that the semifinals he made and got slaughtered by Alcaraz? So Wimbledon, he did great. U.S. Open, he lost first round to Nakashima. So right in Australia and U.S. Open, those are 2 hardcourt slams where I think he can obviously pick up a lot of points. So Holger's ranking is primed to go up. I think we're getting him at a discount or like the lowest we'll see him here because of that poor results last year. That's kind of translated. But I think I like taking a chance on him to play well here and give Yannick a little bit of a test for at least a set and take one, like you said.
You said he did what at Wimbledon last year? He didn't make the semis.
Was it the semis or the quarterfinals? Let me see. Never mind. That was the year before, I think.
Okay.
Got that confused. He made the round of 16 and lost to Djokovic in straight sets. So
this year,
so not the best. No quarterfinals in slams last year. I think he's a player that we could see making quarterfinals, making semifinals of slams. And this is going to be the gauge to see if it's all a pipe dream, if it's all potential for Holger. Obviously, he's only like 21, so this isn't like a make or break for his career kind of match. But this is going to be a great gauge, as we said, to see if he's closer to the top 10 or, Sinner and Alcaraz are just worlds above everyone right now.
Well, no, I mean, he has, it's called the round of 16 for a reason, right? So, the 4th round, aka round of 16, he has a great chance of making it there for every major, and whoever he plays against, he has a great chance of winning against them. So then that puts him in a quarter. And then is he gonna run into Sinner like he did here, or Alcaraz, or someone else that's just like kind of a step above right now for him, like Djokovic.
Yeah.
Him versus Zverev, popcorn. Him versus Fritz, Medvedev.
He's right there.
Anyone else that's inside the top 10, he's right there.
Yeah.
So, no, promising year for Rune. And like you said, he's only 21, and things are looking up.
Let's get some coaching stability, some mental stability. We could see some dangerous stuff out of Holger for sure.
Yeah, I think that what was that Netflix show that was like tennis related?
Breakpoint.
Yeah, Breakpoint. It's hilarious that I couldn't think of it because I was like, okay, this isn't real.
It was such a bummer.
No, but just they made him look so bad that his mom was like, he was getting I had to make his bed and all this like crazy stuff that made him look like such a baby.
It was way too much of his mom in that documentary for sure.
Yeah,
and I feel
regardless,
the tennis parenting always is kind of tricky at that level when you could like have someone easy to direct all your level anger to, especially on court.
I think that Sinner's obviously going to win. Prove us wrong, Holger. That'd be crazy. That'd be the craziest thing that's happened in the last 2 years.
Seriously.
If Rune upset Sinner, that'd be amazing.
If he does upset Sinner, he can get to the he can make a slam final because the draw's open. The winner plays Michelson or Demon in the quarters,
that's what I was going to say.
And then your semifinals, you're looking at Monfils, incredible win. Ben Shelton, Sonego, or Lerner Tien. I mean, I think getting to the semifinals on paper is going to be harder than who you actually have to play in the semis.
Well, so, let's see, Rune's thinking, or Sinner's thinking in this match, that on the other side of that quarter, like that's the most wide open quarter that I've seen in a little while, that it's Shelton, Monfils, and Tien Sonego, right?
Yeah,
So the winner of those two matches play each other in the quarter, right?
winnable matches.
So for Sinner, he has to think, all right, if I get through Holger, then guaranteed run to the final,
Yeah.
pretty much,
Well,
right? Pretty much.
let's segue that into the next matchup of Michelson versus Demon. I think that's the next biggest match of tonight. I think that ends the night, so that's
Mm-hmm.
going to be very late. Um, I do think obviously Sinner matches up pretty well with either of those guys, but I mean, I think I'm done doubting Alex Michelson. I was obviously biased and went Hachinov last round, but Mickelson can put up a real fight against Demon. Way different matchup than who he played against Stefanos and Karen. I mean, Demon's
Yeah.
rally tolerance is like insane. His speed, his returning is just a whole different player than what Mickelson's been showing he could have
Mm.
success against. Um, and of course, the home crowd for Demon. Like, let me see what court they're playing on. But what are your thoughts on that one?
Demon's last match, he just really impressed me with how like just insane he could turn like a point that like 95% of the players on tour would have just like kind of conceded and lost, and he can turn that into like defense into offense. Um, his he's probably the fastest player on tour,
Oh yeah,
like because you could just tell
Tim or
like
Carlos.
from watching him, Carlos, Tommy Paul, maybe a few others you can throw in there, but like Demon, like it really makes a huge difference that you know he doesn't get a ton of free serves or free points on serve, but he's done
Mickelson
better in
does.
that regard. Like he is getting some free points on serve, but he makes you work so hard for every point. And Mickelson, him and Tien are kind of the wild cards in this draw that they've never been so deep, and it's hard to know what to expect from them. But Mickelson, we can expect an extremely high level of tennis. The
Oh
way that
yeah.
he dismantled Tsitsipas and dismantled Hachanov, who have been doing this for like 10 years. My
So
prediction is that Demon's going to show TMG and win it in 4 or 5 sets. But
yeah, yeah.
Mickelson's really such a tough out right now.
I know. I like the 5 sets. I think I like taking the
Demon in
over.
5.
I like Demon in 5 because the crowd, like if that gets into a factor later in the match, I think that helps Demon. I think Mickelson has the mentals to handle this big of a match on the biggest arena court. They're playing Rod Laver late night match. Crowd is going to be absolutely insane, and they love to support their Aussies. How much does that factor into the young guy? I mean, these young kids so far, these next gen kids have proved they're not afraid. They don't have the year like the Hachinov Tsitsipas, they've had their like confidence sucked out of their soul by Djokovic losing to this guy and not believing that you can win a slam for like the past 5-6 years they've been on tour. And then you're like,
Mm.
oh, finally, he's older, he might be vulnerable. And they're like, oh, here's a fully informed Yannick Sinner and maybe one of the best youngest tennis players we've ever seen in the sport, at Carlos Alcaraz. So now you got to beat those guys. So it's like their outlook on their tennis careers might not be as optimistic as a Leonard Tien, as a Mickelson, who don't know any better, who are fearless, and they're just going on the court and playing tennis, and it doesn't really, affect them as
Absolutely.
much. That's got to be an added
Absolutely
bonus.
fearless. Fearless is a good, word to use for Tien. And, Mickelson, he seemed a little more, humble, but Tien, after the Medvedev match, he wasn't surprised,
Oh yeah,
he wasn't surprised that he got that win. He's like, yeah, just, another day. Like, I feel like, the sky's the limit, Tien Sonego is an insane match.
yeah. I
Uh,
think just to
That's
wrap up
happening
my
tonight?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
happening tonight.
Sorry.
Just
Yeah.
to
You
wrap
give
up
your
the
pick.
just to wrap up the Michelson Demon match, I think I got Demon in 4 or 5. I like the over 37.5 games because Michelson has, he's 6'5", massive server. It's going to
Mm.
be, I think he gets more free points off serve, and I think he also has the length and the rally tolerance to hang with Demon a little bit, even though you got to give the edge to Demon in those longer exchanges. You got to give the physical edge to Demon the longer this match goes. If they go into a third, fourth, fifth hour, you got to give the physical edge to him, especially, and the crowd on his side. I don't think, hopefully, Michelson he could prove me wrong. The semifinal we're looking at could be Michelson versus Lerner Tien. Probably not, but there's a chance.
Hey,
I would
Shelton proved us wrong with the Musetti prediction. So
Yeah, Shelton, he's a gamer, dude. I like his tennis, but we'll get into
yeah,
that next. But to finish off Mickelson, I would love to see what he could do against Sinner, because I think we've seen what Demon can do against Sinner, and Sinner can hit him off the court because his offense is too lethal
he would.
to counter Demon's defense. But yeah,
Mhm.
I think Demon edges. He has the edge in this matchup. I think it's going to be close. So I like the over, but yeah, got to be Demon in 5. And then 2 more matches on for tonight. Let's talk quickly about, so Tien plays Sonego. Tien, people had concerns coming off that long Medvedev match, but I think a 19-year-old, not a lot of tennis years on his tires. He recovered well, and he, came over the other lefty in Mute. So this
Mhm.
matchup, Sonego, I don't think anybody had him in this 4th round. Kind of got a little bit lucky.
It's
Um, yeah,
uncharted territory here. No one would have predicted Sonego playing Lerner Tien in the round of
and it's a
16 to make the quarters. It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, huge opportunity for both these guys. Lerner to jumpstart his career with some massive amounts of points. And Sonego, like kind of a journeyman guy, always hovering around that like 50 range. Like this could be his shot to like really make a dent in this tournament. And, with a lot of the top seeds going out in this section, like there's a semifinal spot on the line and you don't got to go through Sinner, like you can meet Sinner in the semis. So Sonego has to be licking his chops at this opportunity. It's a pick 'em match. Uh, this is a tough one to call. Do you lean either one of these guys?
I mean, impressive that Sonego was able to uh, change his game a little bit to beat Fonseca in the second round. Tien is obviously a completely different player. It's just so hard.
Yeah,
This is such an unprecedented matchup.
I know, it's such a pick
Sonego,
'em
it would be
too.
his what he's been on tour for probably 8 years.
Yeah, I think
It
he's
would
like,
be his first quarterfinal. I'm pretty sure. Maybe
he's
he's made
20,
the quarters.
he's 29 though. Like
Right.
he's older than you think he is. And,
Yeah.
how does he handle this moment? How does
hmm
Lerner's body hold up after all this tennis? I think that's what I'm concerned about, even though he hasn't proven
I think
that's
Tien will
really
be
affecting
fine.
him. Yeah, I think he's going to be
I think
fine.
his body's gonna be fine, but
This one's a
um,
tough one to call. I don't know if I could choose a winner. I kind of want
Tien.
I
I'm
want
gonna go
Lerner to win.
Tien.
Yeah, I want
I'm
him
gonna
to
go
win.
Tien. I just think from what I've seen this tournament, from a technical standpoint, Tien is just like he will
He
match his opponent's game plan and his flexibility there, and you know, Sonego's had a fantastic tournament for sure,
yeah.
but I'm gonna go Tien because this is such a 50-50 thing, and
Yeah.
it's like Sonego's gonna have a lot more pressure on him. Tien's like again playing with house money.
Mhm.
Uh, I think
Yeah.
Tien's gonna win this, and then obviously the winner runs into
Shelton and
Shelton or
Monfils.
Monfils. So
Yeah.
winner loses to Shelton or Monfils.
Yeah,
My
I think
prediction.
so. I think my heart wants Lerner. I think if I have to pick a bet in this match, it's both of these guys to win a set. The over 3.5 cents, I think, is a pretty good lock. Um, you could definitely parlay that with other bets if you want to follow us on Twitter. I'll be tweeting that out. But yeah, I think I'm just going to pick Lerner and hope for the best because he's an exciting player.
I think
And
he
I,
can do
I
it.
think if he plays Ben Shelton in the next round, matchup with the young Americans, two lefties, that would be an incredible watch. That's what I'm rooting for. Because, I mean, Monfils just put on an absolute masterclass against Fritz. We were both so solid that Fritz was going to win that, but Monfils just channeled some worldly like nerves of steel serving matches. He took it to
Amazing.
Taylor. Taylor didn't play like awful. There was like only it came down to a few points, and Monfils just like
He
played with
didn't.
no fear. Like
Yeah, Taylor didn't play great. It was pretty much whenever Taylor came in, the point was gonna go to Monfils
yeah,
because
and Monfils,
he was coming in at the wrong time. He was like
yeah,
trying to force coming into net, and Monfils too good for that.
and Taylor is obviously trying to look for his forehand, so that's like he wants to run around his backhand and wait for that forehand. So Monfils, knowing that, can counter against that.
Mm.
Um, I mean, Ben Shelton, dude, like this kid, his serve is so lethal. And I think what's going to set him apart is that he's not like a serve bot. He's got the effectiveness on serve as like similar to like, Pelka, GMP, those guys. He serves that big. I mean, if you look at Ben, he looks like he could play football. He's pretty muscular and a massive 6'4".
That
But
was his first sport.
really, football, yeah, I could see him
Hmm.
being like a quarterback. But I think what separates Ben is he has that lethalness on serve, but he's a pretty good mover for his size. His rally tolerance, as we said, is improving. His return goes hot and cold if it's awful because he takes like a full swing on return. But he's not this like unathletic serve dependent guy. Like he has that top 10 potential where if he develops the other parts of his game, especially his rally tolerance, I mean, this guy, I think he can win slams.
Well, that's what we saw against Musetti
Yeah.
was he was in all of Musetti's service games, putting the ball back in play and making him hit 10 plus shots. And um, yeah, rally tolerance is definitely the word that if his rally tolerance is up, then he has a chance against the top guys. And if it's the sixth shot and he tries to rip a winner, then he's probably going to lose.
Yeah.
Let's see what
And
happens with Benny Boy.
I know, and
Benny Boy
Monfils,
Shelton.
and
I
Monfils
hope,
is such a smart player.
as I said, man, I would love to see Shelton just succeed. And he's right there. But
I, I
Monfils is such a tough match for him right now. I can't wait to see it. I think it's a 5-setter.
I like that.
Shelton wins in 5 sets.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Shelton money line because I want to see out of these four guys who can make a semifinal, who's got to probably play Yannick. Like I want to see what Shelton does in that matchup. He's played Yannick in slams, I think, before in big matches before, and Sinners kind of handled him one way traffic. But
Mm.
Shelton is a guy like Holger, where if we're taking people out of the top 10, Shelton's got that quality to get into the top 10. And a win like this, a deep run like this to a semi would be massive in the rankings and massive to catapult him into a great year where he's a top seed and avoiding a lot of these tough early round matches where he gets better draws at tournaments and maybe helps him
Yeah.
go a little bit deeper. So,
Well, can we? So, all right, so we have that set, right? We have Sinner's gonna win, and then he's gonna
Demon.
play Demon.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Shelton's gonna win, and he's gonna play Tien. So let's say Shelton beats Tien, Sinner wins and against Demon, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
the semis would be Sinner Shelton. On the other side, real quick, I think Tommy Paul has been, you know, undervalued in how dominant all of his matches have been.
Fokina could
Like,
like barely walk the last
okay,
round though.
Fokina, yeah, 1-1-1, but
Yeah.
like all of his other matches though, he's looked really good. Like Tommy
He,
Paul, he's number 11 in the world, right?
yeah, he
Like
handled Key
for a good
Nishikori in
reason. Like
four.
yeah, he's looking like a serious like contender at this point. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm not going against Zverev though. He's got Zverev, and that's
let's
tough.
see, man. That is a let's see for me. Like,
Yeah, it's a big opportunity for
I
Tommy
think
for sure.
I think Paul has a good chance of making that really close, if not winning.
Tommy Paul has low-key been having a great start to the year. He's already at a new career high of number 9 in the world right now. So now it's the test. If you want to be, it's something to crack the top 10. But now, if you want to rise in the top 10, you got to start beating top 10 players. And Zverev's a tough test. I think, I don't know, I think Sasha's too. I'm not going against Sasha in that matchup. I think he gets the free
Mm-hmm.
points off serve and he matches Paul's rally tolerance and ball striking
Mm.
ability. So that's not what I want to pick. And then, of course, we get the box office one of Djokovic Carlos. So that's that side of the draw, man. That is absolute popcorn. But yeah, great talking.
Absolutely.
Let's go, Shelton. Holger, show us something, please. Demon Michelson, set your alarms because that one's going to be worth watching. And let's see what Lerner's got. If he's got anything left in his tank, I think he
I
does.
think Tien can win. I
I think
think
he
he
can
can.
too.
Yeah.
If I want to bet a heart bet, that's I want to back my boy Lerner there. But it's
Let's
gonna be a
go.
great night of tennis, Jeremy. Looking forward to it.